My grandmother always said that the world is actually getting colder, so I don't believe in climate change. Welcome to Friday Fallacy. This week we're looking at the appeal to authority fallacy. The appeal to authority fallacy is when an expert's claim is assumed to be true. That is, rather than assessing it on its merits, the mere fact that an expert has made the claim is taken as establishing its truth. This is not a sound way of arguing, as authorities can be wrong. That Stephen Hawking is an atheist in no way means that God cannot exist. That Francis Collins is a Christian in no way means that God must exist. Some examples of the appeal to authority fallacy. Many scientists are speaking out against evolution. Roger Penrose argues that consciousness comes from quantum effects. Creationism is a science. Dr. Kent Hovind says so. Einstein didn't like quantum mechanics, so it can't be right. Not all references to experts are an appeal to authority fallacy. The ideal usage of an expert opinion is to argue that a consensus of experts in a settled field have a certain belief, and therefore such a belief is very likely to be true. For example, the overwhelming majority of senior biologists accept that the theory of evolution is true. Therefore, it is far more likely to be true than false. This is not a fallacious appeal to authority, as we are relying on the majority view on an uncontroversial topic in a well-established field, and then based on this, concluding that the experts are likely to be correct. As we move away from such a framework, the argument becomes weaker and weaker. The appeal to authority fallacy usually rests on asserting that the quoted authority must be correct. This is always fallacious, as any expert can be wrong, and this possibility must be taken into account. Another form of the fallacy is to refer to an expert who is not qualified in the relevant area. An engineer's belief in homeopathy is irrelevant, as it is outside of their expertise. Some topics have open questions, and so no authority is trustworthy when making pronouncements in these areas. For example, the basis for human consciousness, the mechanisms underlying abiogenesis, and the nature of dark energy are all currently undetermined. So on these topics, there are no experts, and no expert opinion is trustworthy. Such issues plague other fields, such as philosophy and theology. These fields rarely, if ever, reach consensus on many questions, and so it is always incumbent on us to understand the actual arguments for or against any given position, rather than relying on the opinion of an authority. In conclusion, the appeal to authority fallacy is when a claim is assumed to be true because it comes from an expert. Until next time, keep your fallacies to yourself.